I sit to the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you notice some wildfire hazards.
Just
move your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smokey, all right. He likes when people help prevent wildfires. It's close. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, there are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part. SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forest.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair. Tough. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs. So I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow.
Caring for a loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Or call 877-3. Brought to you by ARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see you with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. Feedthepig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door. When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood. Or an earthquake is destroying buildings. When a tornado is tearing through town. Or a hurricane strikes. Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause
Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Woo! Yes, man! What the rock is cooking.
Now, welcome to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the only wrestling talk show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome to Off the Mat. My name's Alex Slows. I'm your host for now until Josh arrives because he's running a bit late. So I'm just going to cover everything until he gets here. First, here's how you can follow us on Twitter, how you can follow the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on Twitter, how you can follow Off the Mat on Twitter, and how you can download the free WWSRN app. First, you can download the WWSRN app in the Google Play and App Store. It's very, very simple. You type in WWSRN, you click on the app to open the app, and then you'll get access to show articles, show bios, any episodes you may have missed, and so much more. So please be sure to check all that we have available on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Also, follow the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on Twitter at WWSRN_radio. Again, that is at WWSRN_radio. Follow Off the Mat on Twitter at Off the Mat WWSRN. Again, that is at Off the Mat WWSRN. And how do you find the Off the Mat website? It is in our Twitter description. The link, you click on that link, and you'll get access to our upcoming pay-per-view and show schedule for all the major wrestling shows and promotions happening throughout 2022. We have a show archive of any of the episodes you may have missed of Off the Mat, special guest interview page with all the special guests we've had on Off the Mat and on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and a contact us page to contact us directly through our Gmails. So now that Josh is here,
yes,
let's open with a big, huge, exciting announcement. This is a big deal for all of us, especially me, Josh, and Lyle, and Speedy. So here we go. Josh, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Alex, for doing that. I want to apologize for being late. I'm at a new school, so I started a new job. First off, for those that are at my job that are listening, thank you so much. Appreciate the love and support. So far, the school has been nothing but great, wonderful, kind, amazing. It's just such a different environment from the past. And you know, the outing was wonderful. It was my first one. There was no chance I could miss it for sure. So, you know, I do apologize for being late. But as you know, Alex said, with doing the app, it's like he said, it's very simple. Just download it, install it. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Twitch. We're on every single social media site, as well as worldwidesportsradio.com. We're on there as well. I don't know if you mentioned that, Alex, so don't mind me. And I know I usually don't wear shirts more than once. I had to wear the shirt this weekend. We will get into that a little bit later, but so there is a big announcement, and we are not starting this week because Lyle is out, and we did not think it would be appropriate that one of the main people that are here on this platform has a right to miss such a tremendous achievement that we have gone through. So the big announcement that is coming out, and yes, Lau had a pun today on Twitter, was hysterical actually, is we are going to be joining Body Slam, which you can find them as well at, I believe their website is, I want to just have it right, I believe it's Body Slam, if I'm not mistaken. Give me a second. Bodyslam.net. We are joining up with Bodyslam.net. We are still staying on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We are going to continue with our partnership with them, of course. We are a big part of WWSRN. We love everything, you know, that is brought to this that is brought to this network, and we're going to continue to stay with them. But we are now also hooking up with Bodyslam.net. So next week you'll also see a Body Slam .net logo on our on the one of the corners. So you see our Off the Mat logo will stay there, and on one of the other corners on Alex, did you freeze?
Yeah, my parents have to tell them.
Oh, okay. So we would be joining up with bodyslam.net as well. And for those that don't know Bodyslam, they have a ginormous, humongous following in regards to wrestling fans. And now Alex is completely vanished. Oh, that's right. He walked for a second. So with us, basically what this is this is a massive announcement for us that we wanted to do it on here. We are going to be starting with Bodyslam. We were going to start this week, but Lyle is out, so we are starting next week. They have a ton of following. They have over, I believe, 40,000 people that follow them, if I'm not mistaken. If Alex wants to check that on Twitter quick, just to confirm the number.
Yep.
But
Twitter real quick.
A couple people we have to thank for this. First off, I think we need to thank Errol Marks for really giving us this opportunity to show our talent, our knowledge of professional wrestling. Without this platform, we're not seen. This is something that we are, over a year ago, he paired Alex and I together, and the show was there. It was there, but it was okay, but it didn't have that finishing touch yet.
No, it didn't have that shiny spot.
And then that's when Lyle was added, and I think he was the missing link to what the show needed. And it's really been, listen, off the scenes, it's been up and down at times. We can all agree with that. That's partnerships. It happens, but at the same time, we have found a happy medium with the three of us working together. It's been great. It's been a pleasure working with the two of them. I've seen Alex grow so much, and I've seen Lyle grow so much. And the fact that Errol believed in us and doing this program is an even better way to really show our appreciation by getting picked up, which is a big thing.
Absolutely.
We have to thank him. We have to thank, of course, Cassidy Haynes, who is the owner of bodyslam.net, who came on with us last week. And he and I talked on the phone for a bit. I spoke to Alex and Lyle, and they both said they wanted me to represent Off the Mat when talking to Cassidy. So I did. I reached out. We chit-chatted, schmoozed. Because I asked the guys, I said, is it okay if I talk to Cassidy and represent Off the Mat? They said, of course, absolutely, I'm all in. We spoke, we talked, we got Errol on the phone, and I was a mediator in the middle between the two of them. And we struck a deal where, if you've noticed on worldwidesportsradio.com, the bodyslam.net logo, Bodyslam's logo is now there. And of course, with the Worldwide Sports Radio Network are going to now partner with Bodyslam with different sports articles as well, different sports shows. All that's going to be put on the Bodyslam website. It's going to be great. But Cassidy Haynes, the moment he got off the air, I DM'd him, send me your number. I said because he really wanted to talk about getting us on his platform, which we have done. We struck a deal, and it's definitely something that's going to benefit, I think, everybody in all parties, from from Worldwide Sports Radio to Bodyslam to us. Of course, we also have to thank Speedy for being the producer and doing that. I know in his busy schedule and everything like that, he does so much. He is the network. Speedy is WWSRN. That's, call it like it is. He is. And hopefully, and I know I've told him this many times. I love Speedy, and I push his buttons. I always have. He's a great kid. He really is knowledgeable. I mean, you see all the work he does with the Weekend Crunch and the Sports Loudmouths with Errol and Tyler, and everything like that. So, Speedy's still going to continue to produce our show like it's all norm. Cassidy is now also going to have access to our show, so it can be posted on Body Slam's page. We are going to be getting a lot more bigger guests. Not that we haven't gotten big guests. We have gotten some big guests, but now we're going to even expand it more. I'm not going to make promises for which company or where they're going to be, but I have spoken with Cassidy already, and we have talked about a list of people we can get, and we will announce those when the time is right. Because we're not here to make false promises, but Cassidy has assured me that once you have a credential with Body Slam, you're pretty much in everywhere, and that's the facts. And he's right. I mean, Cassidy has broken so many stories recently with everything. He's one of the bigger names in the wrestling insider business. In my eyes, he to me, you got the Sean Rosses, the John Albas, you got the Raj Jerry's, you got the Dave Meltzers. I think Cassidy Haynes has to be up there on that list as well. And if not for Lyle, we don't get Cassidy on this show.
Yeah.
So Body Slam is our big announcement. We are going to be moving on to another platform. We are going to be staying on Worldwide Sports Radio Network. So if you want to watch and listen to us on the network, on the app, on their Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope Twitch page, certainly can. If you want to listen to it on the Body Slam page as well, you can do that too. This is something we've been wanting to do for a long time on expanding. And I think expanding is a very important. Now, it could be a scary thing because changes. I'm learning that right now. Changing schools in the middle of the school year it's not easy.
No, it's not.
I literally have 4 months to learn about my new students. It's not an easy thing. So, but we want to thank Body Slam. We want to thank WWSRN.
Absolutely.
We want to thank Arrow. We want to thank Cassidy. I'm glad we got this done. It was literally a half an hour conversation. Bing, bang, boom, done. And that's it. Alex, I know you're very excited about this. So I don't know what's happening here. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for all three of us ever since we started this show in June of last year. So
yeah. It's been tumultuous at times when it comes to COVID and stuff like that. It's not easy, and it's even harder because, Lyle and I live here in Long Island. We live on Long Island, and Alex, is in Florida, so it can be tough to navigate at times, but we've made it work. So I think all of us have done a great job here to get to this point, and we're so excited to start Body Slam next week and continue to do the great work we do for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. So. We have a very short show. That's my part in doing. The weather is so crappy outside. If you're out there, it's freezing rain. It's disgusting. It's cold. It's nasty. But I said I'd be on in between 6:10 and 6:15. I think I got in. It's not going to say the time, but I definitely got in at around 6:10, 6:11. So it was perfect. So. Alex, we have a lot to get to in a short amount of time. We're not going to go to a break. We have about literally 25 minutes to get to most of what we can get to, and let's start with the Royal Rumble.
Yep. I'm going to start off by talking about the Roman Reigns Seth Rollins Universal Championship.
Oh, you mean the only good thing that was on that show?
Yeah, that was the only good match. The only good match.
Minus the finish.
Minus the finish. The finish. I wish they could have done something better with that. Having them go at it with a DQ to me is just not the appropriate right way to end this type of main event caliber 5-star matchup, because that's what it was. These two know each other very well. You think about the days they were together in the Shield, the days they had the short rivalries between 2012 and 2015, all of those times. And you could really see how well the chemistry unfolded between them in the ring. And it was just a shame for it to end that way. And you can tell the fans were not on board with it. They didn't like it one bit. They wanted a different aspect of the match. They wanted to see something end entirely in a gigantic way that was going to shock people. And the fans really didn't get that.
No, for sure. I think it was definitely something that I thought the whole pay-per-view was I thought it was messy, it was sloppy, it was done in a way that it was once the disqualification happened, it went downhill very quickly.
Very
That
fast.
was probably the worst Royal Rumble, and I've seen a lot. That was probably the worst Royal Rumble I think I've ever watched. And that's saying a lot. That's really saying a lot. And I've seen some pretty bad ones. The Roman Seth match was really good. I love the Shield aspect of it. Like you said, I thought it was great. Seth is kind of like the Joker character a little bit.
Yeah, he really is.
He like the Joaquin Phoenix one, the recent one. The disqualification was a little weird. I didn't really care about the Doudrop Becky match. It had nothing to mean, no mean to me or any, because we knew who was going to win. The women's match was, there.
The women's Royal Rumble was kind of fair. They had a lot. It had a lot more.
It started badly when Melina got
eliminated.
Melina got eliminated accidentally. That was not how she was supposed to be eliminated. And Sasha just sat in the ring, just chilling. They spoiled a lot of the surprises. We knew that.
Yep.
Everybody heard Ronda was coming back. She was in the area. And once we heard her music go off, I think the women's match completely missed the boat on having a Ronda Shayna moment. Because they're best friends in the Four Horsewomen, same style. I don't know if Lyle got his thoughts on the Rumble in. I don't think he did. So maybe next week we'll hear from him about it.
I mean, the only good thing to come from the women's Royal Rumble that I saw in particular that I liked was when when Sarah Logan came out and you saw Liv Morgan kind of like stagger and get up and see that her friend was coming back out, like to see her friend hit the stage for the first time in like over a year or two. That was a great way to pull that off, to have that chemistry match back in, because they were part of the Riot Squad with Ruby Soho, and it was a big moment for both of them.
No, absolutely. Well, the thing of it is when you look, just like even the Edge match. Listen, those are four, people, good people. Two of them are Hall of Famers. I think The Miz will be a future Hall of Famer. It was a match I didn't care about. I had no care in it. And that sounds terrible to say, but it's true. And the Bobby Brock, once again, they did, and Lyle and I went back and forth on Twitter a little bit, where he said that if you find this to be a dream match, then I don't remember what it was, like something about, you need the brain examiner or something like that. I might have, I want to get the comment correctly with him. I don't want to misconstrue any words. I want to be able to do, but to me, the problem was with the Brock Bobby match, they once again did not let those two show their actual talents. Brock is suplexing over and over again, the same song and dance. And to me, it was just, I don't know. I wasn't, I mean, let me see.
It just wasn't enough that the fans were getting. I feel like they might do that at Elimination Chamber, where they have Brock and Bobby actually let each other go at it and let them go at it in the squared circle.
Well, I mean, they're going to be in a cage match. You know what I'm saying? So, I just want to, let me see.
But to do it in Saudi Arabia, out of all places, to me is like,
Here.
I don't know. I don't know about
He
that
said,
one.
So Lyle said, it is a dream match for people who are small-minded. This is not a dream match, like I said. The real dream match is Danielson Okada. My response, I said back to him, I said, are you calling me small-minded? Because I've always wanted this match. He said, And then I wrote back, and this is, I think, fair what I said. In my mind, it is a dream match. Certain companies have dream matches with the roster they have.
Mm-hmm.
They can't
That's
have an
very true.
Okada or somebody because they don't have the roster to do it. This brings two guys with very similar backgrounds and styles. That's why people are excited about it. Two guys suplexing each other for 7 minutes is not a dream match. And then I wrote
No,
back
it's not.
again, as Cassidy said on our show, it's not Brock or Bobby's fault. It's the head creator's fault.
Yep.
If they don't let the guys show their talent, you can't blame them. You blame the dude in charge. That's the facts. You know, and again,
Yeah. It's very true.
you're gonna compare Brock and Bobby to a match with Okada is like comparing apples to oranges. I mean, Okada is one of the top 5 best wrestlers on the planet.
And
You're
it's
not
kind of
going
like
to be able. You can't. I feel like
yeah.
I get the argument, but it's not justifiable to me because it's something that I feel like you can't compare the two.
No, you
I'm
can't.
not comparing Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley to Kazuchika Okada. I'm not, or Kenny Omega. I'm not doing that.
No.
You can only deal with what's on your roster.
Yep.
And who is the guy in charge. Tony Khan let Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega wrestle for 30 minutes and let them do their thing. Brock and Bobby, unfortunately, as Cassidy Haynes said on our show, you could go back and listen to it, said, is it really their fault or is it the creator's fault?
I would say it's the creator's fault. It's the creator's team's fault because they're only getting from like what Vince McMahon wants them to go with, and then they're passing it down to the talent. And it's not their fault that they're being limited down. And and that's why a lot of the stars there are frustrated. Like Mustafa Ali, whose contract is currently frozen. He can't go anywhere until it's up. And it's exactly like Russell Purist said on Twitter. There is a wealth of discouraged and disappointed WWE talent frustrated with the direction of the company, ranging from those who are rarely on television to constrained main eventers, new names, and veterans. There is a decreasing morale within the locker room.
So in the end, when certain companies don't let their wrestlers do what they're great at, it kind of poo-poos everything. And
really does.
That's the point. But I know we have a lot to get to. We have like 15 minutes left already. It's crazy. But and if we don't get to everything, but there is a couple of big stories you do want to get to out there. But I'll close it with this, and then Alex can close it after. To me, the Royal Rumble was just, there were no surprises in the men's match. None.
No, none
You
whatsoever.
didn't get any. And what it showed me was that roster.
It's very limited.
It's limited because they don't have the structure there where there's a uber superstar that's so over that people are going to like when Brock's music. I said it after the Brock Bobby match. I said Brock's going to win the Rumble, and
he did,
and he did. And I heard Brock's music go, and then I said, "Oh, that's it. It's over. It's over. It's done. No, he's throwing everybody out." Done. Bing, bang, boom. He's done wins it in like 5 minutes. He F5s Drew McIntyre out of the ring. It's over. Done. You get Brock and Roman again for Mania, which is what the prediction was from a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if Brock wins at Saudi in a few weeks, and maybe they do a title for title match. If Brock beats Bobby, I would feel bad for Lashley. And I don't want to. And another argument Lyle and I had was, I don't know how you give him credibility with a win where Roman helped him. A win's a win.
You can't. He has to do it on his own. He has to win.
But even still though, a win is a win against Brock Lesnar. It's on your resume. You like, how many times did when Kenny Omega won the world championship and he got help beating Moxley, doesn't that hurt the credibility then?
No.
Like that's so wait. So
yeah, you do have a point with that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how many times did Seth Rollins, when he was in the Authority, get help winning the championship in all his matches with J&J Security? Like,
oh, he got a lot of help.
That's what I'm saying. So I understand getting interference is not the best, but here's the other thing too. It adds it peels off another element to the story with Heyman, because we all knew Paul was going to turn on Brock eventually and
Yep.
go with Roman. Like that was the thing. That was always the case. That was going to happen. So to me, I'll close with that. Alex, you have any final thoughts on the Rumble?
I would say if I had to give this Royal Rumble a rating, I would give it like a 4 out of like a
Yeah, that's why I would give it like I would
4
give
out of
maybe
10.
a 3 or a 4. It was
Yeah,
terrible. It was maybe even a
really
2.
bad.
I was even a 2.
Yeah,
It was horrible. I mean, it was so bad. Which leads us to our next point, and that is Shane McMahon being let go by the WWE. And apparently Shane was, from what reports are, I don't know if this is true or not.
He wrote the whole
in charge
match
of the
around
Rumble.
himself.
You know, Shane was in charge of the Rumble that night. That is apparently what's going around. And the other thing was a lot of women were upset that Tyson Kidd did not have a say in the women's match. A lot of the women were upset. And these Royal Rumble matches, I mean, the men's one sucked. That was one of the worst matches. That was one of the worst Rumble matches I think I ever watched.
It really was.
It was awful. There were no surprises. No legends came back. They literally had this, and then also, by the way, I forgot to mention, if you're going to bring Mickie James on as the Impact Knockouts champion, can you at least word it correctly in your little bar where it doesn't say Impact Women's Champion? Because that's not the correct. That's not correct.
No,
it's not right. And then who's the announcer for Raw? Who's the guy?
I think that's Mike Rome.
Yeah, he kept saying Women's Champion too, and I was like, dude, that's not it. Like, that's not right. It's Impact Knockouts Champion. It's not the Impact Women's Champion. So, but Shane McMahon getting let go was a surprise because remember, his dad runs the company, everything like that. He has no more creative say in anything anymore. Shane, he was being brought back in. He has no more say. He's been let go. They're not been happy. And now, of course, everybody makes the jokes about Tony Khan bringing him in. Please, God, no.
Yeah, please
I don't want that. I don't think he's going to be in wrestling anymore. I think he's going to.
I think he's just done completely.
He's going to do his own. Listen, he had so many entrepreneur stuff that he was doing that was working. I think he's going to stick with that. They had, from what I saw, they had him and Seth going at it at Mania. Obviously, that's now scrapped.
Yep. In the trash.
That's not happening anymore. So what were your thoughts when you saw the McMahon being let go story? Because to me, it was surprising considering that his dad runs the whole company.
Yeah, it was shocking to me too, because like you said, Vince McMahon runs the whole company, and Shane McMahon has been with the WWE for many, 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 many years, including going back into the Attitude Era. And it blew my mind when I saw that title. And I'm wondering what they're going to do now that they have let Shane McMahon go and what the direction is with the company. Because a lot of the people there are like I read earlier from the tweet, their morale is very, very low. There's not really much they can do or try to convince anybody there, as well as the main caliber talent like Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns can. They don't have that kind of say, that kind of power.
That's the thing, right? Like, so, I mean, from what I've read, Shane was in charge of the Rumble. It flopped miserably. So, I mean, I don't know. I found it to be a very boring event. It was bland. It was dull. Nothing exciting about it.
Yeah, it really felt bland.
It felt dry. It felt like, to me, it just felt like something that was, first off, predictable.
Yep.
Like, you're hearing Ronda's coming back. She's in the St. Louis area. Okay, Ronda's winning the event. And by the way, Ronda, I thought, looked good. She had, I know, listen, she was taking care of her child. You know what I mean? Like, it takes you a while to get the baby weight off and stuff like that. But I didn't think she looked great, actually. But we knew Ronda was going to win. Brock lost to Bobby.
Yeah,
you knew Brock was going to win. I mean, if you didn't, then you live under a rock. Then I mean, clearly, because he was pretty freaking obvious. I think I said it after Bobby. I said it on Twitter after Bobby beat Brock. I said Brock's winning the Rumble.
Yeah, it was so obvious. I
mean, it was just So we have about 10 more minutes. So let's get to a couple more things, Alex. I want to get to let's just touch base on the Leo Rush situation. And we're here at Off the Matter wishing, Leo all the best and speedy recovery.
Yep.
Why I'm wearing
full speedy, healthy recovery.
I'm wearing his shirt. And the reason being is because at an event, he got hit with a bottle. Was knocked out by was a fan that threw the bottle, and went to the hospital. Have we even gotten an update about Leo at all, or has he said anything?
Not that I have heard of, but I did hear there was confirmation that whoever was running the event, Excalibur, there was confirmation that Excalibur did reprimand a lot of the fans who were throwing stuff in the ring.
Good.
And I think that should never, ever, ever happen at any wrestling event. Nothing like that should ever take place. You need to have stronger and better security so that situation never comes to light.
Listen, the fans are the fans, the performers are the performers.
Mm-hmm.
You let the performers do their job, and as the fans, you can be entertained. If you're going to be an idiot and do something stupid like these people did, then you got bigger problems. You need to figure yourself out because you seriously hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And
man's got a
never
family,
okay.
So to me, we wish Leo a very speedy recovery. We are hoping for the best for him. Of course, we'd love to get him on again. I reached out to him. Of course, I haven't heard back for obvious reasons, of course. And everything like that. So,
but I do have a tweet from somebody that said the injury point was when Buddy hit the Rollins style curve stomp. Not sure if he hit a sensitive spot or if he came down harder than expected. Given Excalibur's reprimand, my hypothesis is Buddy might have slipped slightly on a spot wetted by a throw-in drink.
Oh, hold on a second. I got to get Carl. Carl really messaged me quick. No, I got to get it because you know why? Because so Alex, you know this. I usually have my chat open.
Yeah.
Because I was like stumbling for time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. I do want to read the fans' comments, and that's the appropriate thing, of course.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What
does Carl say?
So Carl says, "Snug. So Lyle is out this week. He is a personal thing. Okay, there we go. What would Lyle's wrestling name be? Oh boy, give me a week. I'll give you 50 of them, and they're not going to be very pretty. What Lyle's wrestling name would be. All right. This is good. You know what? If we don't get to AW, it's cool. Carl had, and we have to answer the fans' questions, right? Yep. That's a fair thing. Carl had a question. He says, "Ask Alex's favorite 5 wrestlers over the years."
Over the years, okay. I would say number 1, obviously, The Rock. Number 2 would probably be John Cena, because he was a big part of my programming when I was growing up watching wrestling. So that's definitely number 2. Number 3, I would say, would have to be Seth Rollins because of the Shield. I grew up with the rise of the Shield. I actually remember when that took place. It was during a Survivor Series 2012, and I remember sitting there watching it with my friend. And all of a sudden, it was a match between CM Punk and Ryback. And all of a sudden, these 3 guys come over the railing and start attacking them. We're like, who the hell are these guys? And that's when we got introduced to them. And that's when me and my friend actually seriously grew into the love with the Shield, because that was one of our
favorite. And Carl's right, by the way. The Rumble was on Peacock and it wasn't promoted at all.
And then number 4 would be John Moxley, and then number 5 would probably be the last one. Number 5. Trying to remember who this was. He was with WWE for a while until he got till he retired. And I would say Kane on number 5. Kane, you got to go with Kane because those were all that's my list of all the stars I grew up with over the years. Because I actually remember seeing Kane during the first start of the Rise Above Hate thing, the Embrace the Hate storyline with John Cena. The first time I saw that was in Lakeland, at the Lakeland Center in Florida. It was a house show, so it was a non-televised event.
So just want to answer the comments. So then Carl asked you who are the top 3 old school managers of all time. Now, obviously, you can't put Paul Heyman on there. Not old school enough.
Percy Pringle.
Yeah, I mean, you could say. I mean, I guess. Well, you got to put Bobby Heenan on there.
Yeah,
Bobby Heenan needs to be on there. Jimmy Hart is the other one. Oh man, I mean, you could put Paul Bearer on there. I mean, there's so many you could put. You could put Mr. Fuji on there. God, I mean, Heenan and Jimmy Hart have to be on there.
Yeah, by far.
If you really want to go out like old, if you could go Bill Alfonso with ECW. You could go. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Heenan is definitely one.
You could go with another one that's really old school. It is Hulk Hogan's manager when he first started. I forget his name.
Oh, Freddie Blassie.
Yes, Freddie Blassie.
You could go Freddie. Yeah, you could say Freddie Blassie. You could say J.J. Dillon is another good one. J.J. Dillon was a really good one. J.J. Dillon was the manager for the Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably. Oh man, Heenan's on that list. Oh, Kim Chi. Yes, thank you, Snug. It was Kim Chi was the handler for Kamala. But I mean, he was only. Oh man, Paul. You had to put. I feel like Paul Bearer on there because of how just memorable the character was. Like,
yeah,
that was just what it comes down to. Miss Elizabeth was there too. She wasn't really a manager, Snug. She was more of a valet. Like a manager would interfere in matches. Slick is another cool one, but I would say Heenan. Jimmy Hart was funny with the megaphone. Gosh, I really got to go with. I think I have to go with J.J. Dillon on this one. I think J.J. Dillon was a big part of the Horsemen. He was somebody that really, when you look at the spectrum of he was a big part of it.
Yeah, he really was.
I mean, like I said, go on, Alex. I'm sorry.
He basically was the structure for the 4 Horsemen. He really was.
No, he was. He was like sometimes he was the voice next to Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think, I mean, there's so many you could. Like I said Bill Alfonso and ECW, Mr. Fuji, who was with, of course.
Yep. Really quick, let's dive into this Brian Kendrick news because I want to touch on that.
Oh yes, and then we'll. Yeah. So you know what? How about since we're running low on time, do you want to make that your finishing move?
Yeah, I'll make that my finishing move, actually.
Hold on, really quick. Snug says, I would love if Lyle became the manager for Errol, the dancing machine Marks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Go on. Go on, Alex.
So go to the finishing move?
Yeah, go for it.
So my finishing move is about Brian Kendrick, and if you all heard the news, he was supposed to be in a match against John Moxley, but was wiped from the program. So in his place was Wheeler Yuta to wrestle him. And this was because of these offensive comments that took place, I don't know how long ago, like a couple years ago, maybe even longer back than that. And Tony Khan took to Twitter and said, we've been made aware of the apparent and offensive comments made in the past by Brian Kendrick.
Which I'm trying to figure out how WWE.
There's no room in AEW for the views expressed by Brian. We think it's best for all that Brian be pulled from tonight's card as we gather more info. We'll announce a replacement bout ASAP, in which they did. And then I believe after that, Brian Kendrick took to Twitter to apologize.
Yeah, during the freaking show. During the show, you idiot.
I think he should have waited after the show.
Yeah, you stupid moron.
And I don't think the apology is that sincere, to be honest. I know
what it is about. I don't know how WWE missed the boat with this. And then Snug writes, or if Matt Barzell became the manager for a tag team of Earl and Lyle, and he says, isn't wrestling all about heels making offensive remarks and babyfaces squaring them up? Snug, yes, but there's also when you bring up something about, I believe it was about the Holocaust and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
crossing,
getting into
crossing way far above the line.
Yeah.
Way
so,
far.
I think Brian Kendrick did was.
It was unprofessional, really.
And then I wanted to get to my finishing move, and it was about Mr. Anderson and the wrestling school situation. He had a statement. I don't want to read it because we don't have time. Pretty much
I actually have it in front of me.
Read, Alex, then.
I feel it necessary to give the nature of the original post and subsequent articles written about my character and my wrestling school and address them publicly. I personally have not been contacted from the internet wrestling community wishing to ask for my comments on those statements. In 2016, my friend Sean Davari and I realized we had similar visions for how a wrestling school should be and could be operated, and teamed up to open the academy. Since day one, we are committed to giving everyone that came through our doors an opportunity to learn as much as they could about professional wrestling, from safety to etiquette, from basic holds to exciting high spots, from character development to interview skills. We either covered it or were able to connect our students to resources that did. We've hosted some of the biggest names in the wrestling industry as trainers. We've welcomed over 200 students from all walks of life. Dozens of those students now appear weekly around the Midwest independent wrestling scenes. Some have traveled nationally and even internationally. A handful of our graduates are on the radar of the big companies. One is even working for WWE, and a few call AEW their current full-time employer. Unfortunately, COVID hit and closed our doors. And then he goes on to say, I don't have control over what others choose to do with their bodies or businesses, but I felt it was the right thing to do for the health and safety of our students and families, as well as our own family. Pro wrestling and social distancing do not pair well. If I had to do it again with the benefit of hindsight, I would have gladly done so. As those dates got pushed forward in individual correspondence with our students, there was a natural sense of frustration. Nobody had been conned or scammed. We remained as dedicated to and excited about reopening now as we were initially to open our doors in 2022. We are currently working with a realtor to secure a new location. So it sounds like they're working on trying to get a new location for the academy. And
Well, I hope for their sake they do.
site.
And then we didn't get to the Davey Richards porn story, so we'll save that for another time. But I know this was a very condensed show, but we wanted to get on. And really the big thing was our announcement that we wanted to share with everybody. So don't forget to check us out next week, but let's do the whole thing first. If you download our app here at the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, it's very simple. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple Store, type in WWSRN. And Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. You get all of our show articles, our show schedule, our wonderful articles, content that if you miss a show, you could listen to it again or you can rewatch it. So, Carl, the announcement is that we are staying on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, but we are also now being partnered up with bodyslam.net. And if you want, you can find they're one of the biggest wrestling inside websites in the country. They have over 40. Did you get the following list, Alex? If any people follow Body Slam?
Yeah. I think it was like, let me go back to discard that. Go into my search again and go to Body Slam.
I love how he's saying it out loud as he's typing. It's awesome. How much is not with you? I thought you just had it.
26.3K followers.
So they have over 26,000 followers. So we are joining up with Body Slam. Cassidy Ainge is one of the biggest wrestling insiders in the world today. So we are going to be partnering up with them with the network. So that's going to be starting next Friday, Carl. So definitely check it out for sure. You can listen to us on both platforms now. And again, you can check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. Check us out also now on bodyslam.net. We will be on all their platforms as well. Also you can listen to us on a smart speaker, everything of that sort. Worldwidesportsradio.com too, bodyslam.net. We're on multiple places now.
Actually,
Alex,
I just got a message from Speedy saying you guys can go longer if you didn't finish yet. No weapons hot.
Oh, okay. I mean, we're done in we already did our finishing move, and we're done in the show's ending in 3 minutes. But I mean, really quick. So, what What is the announcement? Carl is snug is pregnant. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, probably with edible cupcakes or something. And everything like that. But really, again, we do want to thank the fans for tonight, for listening. It was really just was such a ginormous moment for us. And right that we didn't get to AEW this week. Personally, I thought AEW was
lacking a little bit.
It was lacking this week anyway. It didn't really nothing excited me about it. So we're on the road to WrestleMania now. It's a shame. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, we moved to Bison. We can't do this anymore. Seriously, we have to be fair to all parties. But it's gonna be great. I'll be back next week. I know, like I said, this was really a special thing. To really get going. And I know Cassidy's going to announce it, I believe, tonight, if not tomorrow. I'm going to send him a text just to remind him. I know he told me to let him know when to do it. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a big thing for us going forward and for the network and for our show. And I think we're going to put a stamp on this, and that's what we set out to do. And Alex has got that wonderful T-shirt on which we have fans, Alex, that want the shirt, and yet you never disclose the information to anybody.
I actually got it made at some place in Clearwater. It's like a T-shirt printing place. It's like on Clearwater Beach.
How does that help anybody that's a fan?
I'd have to find like the information on it so that people can like order from it and like actually get this.
Yeah, see, Carl still wants this. Carl still wants the shirt. See, I think eventually merchandise needs to get going for us. I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, of course you think so. You're freaking wearing the shirt. You're the one that has one. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I don't think there's any wrestling this weekend. Is there? I don't think so.
Right.
You're gonna go on the website. You literally have all just AEW websites on there, and like nothing about WWE except for WrestleMania is on there. What's the website, by the way, Alex?
The website for the T-shirt print?
No, for Off the Mat.
For Off the Mat, the Off the Mat website is offthematradio.com. So I actually changed it because Lyle told me to change the Twitter handle for our page because now we are going to be joining bodyslam.net. So I changed to Facebook and Twitter. So now it's Off the Mat Radio. And the link is available in our Twitter description. You click on that link, you'll get access to the show. You get access to a show and pay-per-view schedule for all of from now until April. All the big wrestling pay-per-views and shows that are happening. Then you get a show archive of all the episodes we have done. You get a interview page with all the special guest interviews that we have done for our show, and then a contact page.
And I did want to give a shout. I might be wrong with this, but to Carl, I believe Carl had an addition to the family, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a post about something. So if that is the case, congratulations, of course, Carl, to you and your family, of course. It's wonderful to have something like that. Trust me, I'm living it now. But like I said, we will be back next week. We are going to be on Body Slam and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We are going to be on both platforms, so check it out. We'll get to some more wrestling news. Alex, enjoy your weekend, my man. Enjoy it. Have a great time. Lyle will be back next week for the debut of the show, and everything like that. So, like I said, enjoy, and the name is Cooper. I love it. So congratulations, Carl, on the adoption. That's great news. So happy for you and your family for that, for sure. I didn't want to miss that. But like I said, we'll be on Body Slam next week debuting. We're going to stay on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Have a great weekend to all the fans out there. For Speedy Petey, for Lyle Gillen, for Alex Slows, I am Josh Silberg. Enjoy wrestling next week. We will talk to you next Friday. Have a good night. You are listening to Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Kenny Omega, what do you have to say?